Hello everyone, it's Tara and welcome back to Excel for Educators. This is the first in a series for intermediate users of Excel in terms of creating your own gradebook. And so in this session we're going to get our workbook organized a little bit. If you'd like to download the workbook to use on your own computer and follow along with this tutorial, please use the URL that you see on this page. Alright, opening the workbook, you'll see this is a little different from our beginner series. This time we have two different worksheets for grades or scores. We have our biology list, which is very similar to what we used for the beginner series, and I'm just going to go ahead now and select the last names and name this range. You might remember that we used this last time for driving information in the reporting tool, and we're going to need to be able to use it again. So I've selected those names. Now I'm going to go up here to the name box, and I'm just going to call this P1 Biology for first period biology. Okay, let's take a look at our chemistry. So we've got another set of students here, another set of scores and so forth to use. I'm going to do the same thing. Select the names, go up here, and I'm going to call this P2 Chemistry. We also have a report that looks very similar to last time, and we'll come back to this in a moment. But this time we're going to create a new worksheet. So click that little button with the starburst there. And I'm going to name this Formulas. Some people like to put their formulas that they use for their reporting tool on worksheets that are active or have active data. Sometimes it's a little easier to organize it that way simply because you have the formulas right next to where you need the outputs to go. Personally, I like them on a separate sheet. I think it helps keep things a little bit cleaner for you. So we're going to put three pieces of data here for now, and then we're going to add to this in later sessions. I'm actually going to make the list of classes here. Now I realize that a lot of you do not have just two classes. You have multiple class periods, or if you're an elementary teacher, you have multiple subjects. It could be that if you were using this workbook or modeling this workbook for keeping data looking at a school, you've got multiple teachers, or as a district, you've got multiple schools to look at. But we're just going to start with two today. The other thing that I'm going to do here after I name my range for my classes, so again select, name box, classes, is I'm going to put the list of standards here for biology and chemistry. Okay, so I'm going to pause here and put those in, and we'll need these a little bit later on in the tutorials. Okay, so what I've done is I've listed the biology standards and chemistry standards that were on the score sheets into this table. And again, we'll come back and use this later, but for now that'll help us get a little bit organized. Alright, let's go back to the reporting tool and set up our drop-down menus so that we're going to be able to select which class we want to look at in our report and which student. So I'm going to go up here into the top, and I'm first going to set up a data validation list for the class periods. So I'm actually going to select some cells here, hit merge and center, then I'm going to go up to data, data validation, and if you watch the beginner series this is all very familiar to you. Okay, I'm going to select any value that's a list, and my source is going to be equal to classes. So in other words, what I'm telling this particular drop-down menu is to pull that list of classes. So I can pick however many classes or whatever subject area or school that I want. Alright, I'm going to go and enlarge this a little bit, make it a little bit easier to see. Alright, so now let's do our other data validation list here for last names. Now keep in mind we've got two lists. We've got a list of biology students and a list of chemistry students. So even though we can put in a data validation, so I'm going to go back up to data, data validation, our information is going to be a little bit different this time. We still need lists, but we need Excel to choose the list depending upon if it's period 1 biology or period 2 chemistry. So we're going to use a different formula here, an indirect formula. And the indirect is telling Excel that whatever goes in this particular cell depends on what happens up above in C4. Now I've got another little thing going on here. So I'm going to use the substitute formula. C4. Okay, so there's C4, which is our cell that currently has P1 biology. Why did I put substitute here? Well, because P1 has a space and then the word biology, and the same thing for P2 chemistry. And Excel doesn't read spaces very well. So what I'm going to tell it to do is that what it has in C4 there is to take anything that is a space, and space is a text sort of thing, so we're going to need quotes here. So it's quotes, spacebar, quotes, and I want to substitute that with no space. So I'm going to put a set of quotes and another set of quotes, no space. Alright, so again, what I'm telling Excel to do is to choose the list based on what's in C4, and if it sees a space, to ignore it. Hit OK. Alright, so now when I look at my drop-down list, here are my biology students. And if I change this to my chemistry class, I see chemistry students. Okay, so we're going to stop there for now. Come back next time and we're going to learn how to use the if function, and also in combination with index and match from the beginner series, to fill in the information for the student's first name, the standards, and the current score. So we'll see you back here soon.